From undeserving Super Bowl wins to forcing rule changes and rewriting NFL history, here are times referees ruined the NFL. Let's start with a call that gave a defender the competitive edge against one of the league's most formidable wide receivers. When you're up against DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the league, it's hard not to stop him without getting penalized. But for Marlon Humphrey, the referees just seem to be turning a blind eye. Early in a 2019 game between the Ravens and the Texans, the Ravens 44 fouled Hopkins, preventing him from making a touchdown catch. Hopkins was absolutely livid, and given how this happened early in the game, it probably killed his game off for the rest of the night as the Ravens won by a 41-7 landslide. If you think that's enough to have the Texans mad, wait till you see what this wrong call made the Oilers lose out on. What's worse than a wrong call that makes you lose a match? It's one that stops you from getting to the Super Bowl. With no Super Bowl or conference championship to their name, the Houston Oilers may be nothing but the shadow of the Tennessee Titans' past. But the slightest of hopes they had of winning a conference championship was snatched from them by, you guessed it, the match referees. In the 1979 AFC Championship, late in the third quarter, Oilers' Mike Renfro caught a Hail Mary pass from Dan Pastorini. The pass was high enough to be out of Steelers' Ron Johnson's reach, but low enough for Renfro to catch it with both feet just on the ground. This was before referees had instant replay to review plays. The side judge, Don Orr, wasn't sure what had just happened, so he looked to his co-officials for a call, but they were just as confused as him. The officials put their heads together, and then referee Jim Tunney judged it an incomplete pass, even though it was indeed complete. Well, if anything is certain, it's that history is bound to repeat itself when we fail to learn from it. And trust me, some referees haven't learned their lesson after all these years. In the 2018 AFC Championship against the Patriots, Myles Jack was in his second year as a Jaguar when he stripped the ball from Dion Lewis. No Patriot player was on him, and he was on course to score a touchdown, putting the game beyond the Patriots' reach. But the officials blew the play dead, despite the ball not making contact with the ground, and Jack was absolutely furious. This is a moment that left a bitter taste in the mouths of Jaguar fans. The Patriots overturned the 10-point deficit and won the game, denying the Jaguars their first playoff appearance in franchise history. This next incident, though, was even more painful. Before Dez Bryant played for the Saints and the Ravens, he was a Cowboy, and it was during his time as one that he experienced a moment in his career that hurts him whenever he looks back at it. The Dallas Cowboys faced the Green Bay Packers in the 2014 NFC playoffs, and it was the Cowboys who were packing home by the end of the showdown with a 26-21 defeat. Could things have gone differently? Maybe it would have if this touchdown pass received by Dez Bryant counted. A Tony Romo pass found Dez Bryant, who was too good for Parker's cornerback, Sam Shields, as he leaped beyond his reach to catch the ball and land in the end zone. But reviews from officials led to the touchdown being overturned on the grounds that the wide receiver didn't maintain possession of the ball during his landing. This left Dez confused and disappointed, and rightfully so. But you'll only be mad when a bad call doesn't favor you. That's why when Jerry Rice had his mistake covered by this wrong call, he had something to be grateful for. The thing about rules is that they only apply when you're caught. And when you're not, you have to make the most of it. And that's just what Jerry Rice and the 49ers felt in a 1998 NFL wildcard playoff meeting with the Packers. In a down, Jerry Rice fumbled the ball, but the referees ruled it not as so, citing the contact was made. With the 49ers retaining possession, Steve Young would go on to throw a touchdown pass to Terrell Owens. With just 3 seconds left of the game, it was all but over. Instant replay was introduced the year after to help officials make more accurate calls. But for the Packers, this tech came a year too late for them. Nevertheless, sometimes you need more than just more eyes in the field. You need more ears, so even the simplest of things don't go wrong. To be fair, refereeing is hard. Some calls are very close, but it's worrisome when a basic coin toss can get called wrongly. In a Thanksgiving game between the Steelers and the Lions, the game ended 16 apiece after regular time. So, going into overtime, game referee Phil Luckett used a coin toss to determine who would start the game. Steelers captain Jerome Bettis and his vice Carnell Lake called tails. But when the coin fell on tails, Luckett gave the ball to the Lions, claiming he heard them say heads. With Detroit starting with the ball, they drove 41 yards before Jason Henson would score the game-winning field goal. Who would have imagined that a mere coin toss would be the reason the Steelers lost? This stirred up the NFL so badly that after the match, more than one official had to be at the coin toss to ensure something like that never happened again. And from a bad coin toss, we move to another bad officiating that cost a team a semifinal. In the 2002 NFC wildcard match, a desperate Giants team had 6 seconds to overturn a 1-point deficit. This game was nothing short of exhilarating. In a last-play attempt, Trey Junkins botched a snap for a field goal attempt. The play looked like it was going to end in a touchdown, but his pass fell short. But only because 49ers' Chike O'Keefer pulled down Rich Subert, and a pass interference wasn't called. A truly devastating moment for the Giants. Even Mike Pereira, NFL Vice President of Officiating, admitted that the referees made a mistake that cost the Giants the playoffs. But if it made the Giants feel any better, Tampa Bay eventually beat the 49ers in the AFC semifinals, helping them take revenge. But it's not every team that gets this kind of luxury. Certainly not the Falcons on this next play. In October of 2016, when the Falcons faced off against the Seahawks, it wasn't just a battle of the birds. The game was divided by a wrong call by the referee following an aerial duel between Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones and Richard Sherman. Sherman managed to get away with the pass interference when he prevented Jones from catching the ball by grabbing his left arm. This left Seahawks in the lead by 2 points and a minute and a half left to go, a lead they managed to hold on to till the end of the game. I wonder if an NFL season can go by without a single game with controversial referees, because NFL officials and wrong calls go together so well that even when they make the right call, they overturn it. In the 2014 NFC wildcard matchup between the Lions and the Cowboys, Anthony Hitchens was flagged for pass interference, but for some reason, the officials took back the decision. Anyway, they later admitted that they made a mistake with the call, but the damage was already done. In any case, sometimes a little good can come from the bad. In a play dubbed the Fail Mary, Seattle Seahawks got the better of poor officiating from fill-in officials in a 14-12 win over the Green Bay Packers in 2012. In the final play of the game, then rookie quarterback Russell Wilson threw a Hail Mary pass which was caught by the former wide receiver Golden Tate and then Packers defender M.D. Jennings. The simultaneous possession meant the Seahawks had scored a game-winning touchdown. This wouldn't have been indisputable if Tate hadn't committed an offensive pass interference when he pushed Packers cornerback Sam Shields before the incident. Well, this was reparation for the Seahawks given the emotional trauma Super Bowl 40 must have caused him. And although it cost the Packers the game, it did make the NFL and its refereeing association reach an agreement to end the 2012 NFL referee lockout. Next, we have one really embarrassing moment in NFL history. Super Bowl 40 between the Steelers and the Seahawks will go down in history as one of the most awful Super Bowls in history, courtesy of some very, very terrible officiating. Early in the first quarter, a now-retired Darrell Jackson received a pass from Matt Hasselbeck in the end zone in what would be the first touchdown. But he was found guilty of an offensive pass interference, pushing Chris Hope away from him. That call was a close but fair one, but it was nothing compared to this disastrous decision 2 minutes before the end of the first half. Steelers sophomore quarterback Ben Roethlisberger made a bootleg play and dove towards the end zone. The only problem was he didn't make it, but with a quick-witted stretch of his arm, the ball gave the illusion of being in the end zone, and that was enough for referees to award a touchdown. By the end of the match, the Steelers were on the winning end of a diabolical show of officiating. As disappointed as the Seahawks may have been, we all know the saying that explanations are for losers. And one franchise that owes the NFL an explanation is the Patriots. Seriously, how did they never have a bad call go against them? In Week 15 of the 2017 regular season, the Patriots were holding on to a 3-point lead over the Steelers. There were 30 seconds left of the game, and the Steelers thought they had stolen victory from the Patriots when a pass by veteran quarterback Roethlisberger found tight end Jesse James, who lunged into the end zone to score a touchdown. It looked like the Steelers had just about bested the Patriots, but their hearts were shattered when the referee overturned the call, nullifying the touchdown for an incomplete pass. Sucks to be a Steeler, but wild referee calls have been favoring the Patriots for a long time. How long, you ask? Well, as far back as 15 years ago when Brady wasn't the GOAT he is now. For some reason, anytime the referees make an outrageous call, it favors the Patriots, and the 2001 AFC Divisional Playoffs are a strong example of this. Late in the fourth quarter with the Raiders winning, cornerback Charles Woodson tackled star quarterback Tom Brady, ultimately dispossessing him of the ball before the Raiders would recover it. Anybody watching would say it was a fumble. Match referee Walt Coleman thought so too, but upon review, he overturned his initial call and ruled the play as an incomplete pass. The Patriots retained possession of the ball as they managed to score a field goal to tie the game and go on to win it in overtime. Not only did they win the divisional championship, but Super Bowl 36 as well. The Raiders may have been unlucky on that fateful day, but they've had referees make some wild calls in their favor too. This game was ruined so badly by referees that it inspired a rule change. The NFL was never the same after this game. On September 10, 1978, in a game between the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders, the immaculate deception happened. With 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Raiders quarterback Ken Stabler lost grip of the ball as he was about to be sacked by Woodrow Lowe of the Chargers. The ball moved forward because of this and got pushed further after an off-balance Pete Banaszak knocked it forward. With another forward fumble by Dave Casper, he got the ball to the end zone and finally got it under his control to score a touchdown. With the game won after an extra point by Errol Mann, Chargers fans were infuriated, dubbing the incident as the immaculate deception. Referees were convinced that the forward fumbles were unintentional, and hence the play was legitimate. But this incident was so controversial that it led to the NFL changing rules ahead of the next season, preventing players from recovering a teammate's fumble after the 2-minute warning. There you have it, times when referees absolutely turned the NFL on its head. Which poor refereeing decision shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to check out the other videos popping up on your screen.